Hi guys, this is Ranjit, and in this video let's do the full review of this OnePlus Nord CE smartphone. And I've been testing this now for almost 2 weeks. It's a retail unit, and in fact earlier a week ago I had posted the FAQ video that answers a lot of questions that you had in your mind. But now after using this smartphone a little bit more, there are some things that changed, and overall I would say this is a complicated smartphone. Earlier with most of the OnePlus smartphone in that particular price band, it used to be easy choice, that overall it used to be very good in a lot of area. That's not the case with this one, but again I feel this might be okay for a certain segment of users. So what I am going to do is divide this video between pros and cons. What did I like with this phone, and what are some of the annoying things that I have noticed on this, and some of the decisions are very perplexing. So let's get on with this. First, let's talk about the things that I like. Those are the pros. So the first thing is that I like is this is an AMOLED screen, so I like that, and it's not a big huge AMOLED screen. This is actually a 6.43-inch AMOLED screen, and because of that the phone is light. It's just 170 grams, so it's not that super big these days. So sorry about that, a call came, and if you notice the true caller come, I'll talk about that. RAM management is actually very good, but as we were talking about it, it's not a very heavy smartphone. And the AMOLED screen, yes, on this one is decent. It's having a 90 hertz refresh rate. I just wish it was slightly brighter, but for 95% of the users I would say it is fine. And about 90 hertz, it's mostly fine, but I do notice some minor UI stutters at times. It's not always, but sometimes I do notice that at times, and this is something that even other users have mentioned to me. Again, I saw that stutter, so that's regarding that. Okay, now let's move to the next thing. That's the always on, because this is having that AMOLED screen. It also has this always on, and I did all my testing with this always on, and I got actually pretty good battery life. I'll show you the battery stats later on, but we have this always on, and the fingerprint scanner is also responsive on this one. As you can see, it's not the fastest, I would say. Some of the other OnePlus devices are slightly faster, but one thing to note is that the fingerprint scanner position, if you notice, your finger by natural comes over here, it's here, so you have to adjust the grip. You will eventually get used to it, but the first couple of days you will notice that. The next thing is what I really liked on this smartphone is, in terms of cellular reception and network connectivity, it is very good. In fact, as you can see, both my SIMs are in this one, Airtel as well as Jio. I did not have any issues of network reception. And the other thing is that the earpiece quality is also very good. It's loud and clear. So in that area, I would say they have done a good job. Even Wi-Fi calling works very well. In this area, we have a pretty low network reception, but Wi-Fi calling works very well. So in that area, I feel OnePlus has done a good job. Now moving to the RAM management, as we were talking about that, the RAM management is done good on this device, and many of the apps that you want to be in memory stay in memory. For example, Truecaller does not get booted out always. So in terms of memory management, I would say they have done actually a good job, and recent apps that you have opened will be available in the memory. RAM management is being good. Again guys, this is not the base variant. This is the 8GB RAM variant that comes with 128GB of storage. There's also a base variant that comes with 6GB of RAM, but what I'm using is the 8GB RAM variant. Next thing is what I liked is, again, it's a OnePlus device, so you should expect that. Let me show you a screenshot. Wide 1 L1 support is given on this one. This is from Netflix, as you can see, and it also supports that HDR10 on the same. Screen quality, I would say I did not have a problem on this one. Even the auto brightness was fine. It's only that it's not super bright, so sometimes in direct sunlight I felt the screen could have been slightly brighter, but at this price point I will not complain. The biggest strength of this device, I would say, that's the biggest strength, and that is the main reason that you might be opting for this device, is Oxygen OS. Again, no bloatware or no unnecessary ads that I've seen on this one. No extra apps apart from this OnePlus specific apps. Nothing loaded on this. No unnecessary notifications that you get, and everything works very well on this device. So that way, I would say you're still getting the clean Android experience, which has become a rarity these days in the mid-range market, except Nokia and Motorola, which are again close to stock, no ads. You are not getting this clean Android experience. So that way it's nice. And overall, I would say it's still that OnePlus that we love. Yes, they have changed the iconography a little bit, but still, I would say it's relatively smooth on this one and the clean experience. And I'm glad that OnePlus hasn't started showing ads or rubbish on their smartphone. So I feel that is the biggest strength still on this smartphone. The next thing is, okay, this might be a obnoxious thing that I'm telling you. The back is not glass, guys, but this is plastic, and if you hit it, you get that hollow feeling a little bit. Wished it was glass, but yeah, these days many of the smartphones, not only OnePlus, even Samsung is offering plastic back. But one thing that I liked is that I'm using this without the case. So I'm using it like this now. It'll be almost 2 weeks, and still, if I notice even closely, there are no scratches on this one. So it is resisting the, what do you say, scratches. So that way I like it. I thought we'll have a lot of scratches by now, but that's not the case. But the only thing, at least in this color, is that this is a fingerprint magnet. I believe in some of the other colors it's matte, so you don't get that fingerprint, but this you get the fingerprint. But I'm glad we are not getting those scratches on this smartphone. Next thing is regarding the battery. It has a 4500 milliamp hour battery, and I have to say the battery life is good on this smartphone. It is easily a full day without any issues. And guys, I've been using it with this always on display. Morning it gets enabled, if I recall, 7:30, and night it closes at 11 o'clock. So we have this always on. I'm using with that, and I'm also using it with that 90 hertz. Even with this kind of usage, it easily lasts for a full day. Even at the end of the day, generally I have about 35% left, so it's giving me close to about 1.5 days worth of battery life. So that way I would say in terms of battery life I don't have a problem. But again, guys, this is not a 2-day smartphone. And regarding charging, the charger supplied is a 30-watt charger. It's pretty fast, but I also like the fact that even if you use non-OnePlus chargers like Qualcomm quick chargers or power delivery chargers, then also the charging is fairly quick. So that's actually a good thing. Next thing is regarding gaming, guys. As you guys know, I don't play a lot of games. I did play this Call of Duty on this one, and even this Battlegrounds. And the good thing is that Call of Duty, it could play fine even at the very high settings with those very smooth gameplay that I noticed. But with Battlegrounds, you can just go high. If you go higher than that, then it doesn't allow, or it'll have some issues. So again, for gaming, if you are sort of a casual gamer, it is fine without any issues. But if you are particularly buying a smartphone specifically for gaming, then at this price point you have far better smartphones if your primary goal is gaming. For example, what was that? Poco X3 Pro is actually a very good smartphone, and there are other phones. So yes, it will do gaming. Don't get me wrong that it won't do gaming, but again, I won't recommend this smartphone for hardcore gamers. Now let's also talk about the camera. If you notice the back, we have the main camera 64 megapixel, 8 megapixel ultra wide, then you have the 2 megapixel rubbish. Front is what a punch hole, 16 megapixel that you're having. And as you can see with the sample shots, outdoor shots come out actually good on this smartphone. Like most smartphones, when you have enough lighting, it does a good job. That's the case even with this one. But when we go in slightly duller lighting conditions, it struggles up a little bit. Specifically, I would say white balance and skin tones are a problem with this one. In fact, I had made a comparison video with the iQOO Z3 versus this one, and there I did the camera comparison side by side. Clearly, the iQOO was doing a far better job in terms of images, particularly in indoor and difficult lighting conditions. And I would say the camera is average. If you even look at the front-facing camera, it's good. I won't say it's good. It's okay. It's not bad. But again, it's not great. And if I compare with other smartphones like iQOO Z3 or even the Redmi Note 10 Pro, all of them have a far better camera than this one. That's the story with OnePlus these days. In terms of camera, I would say they have gone back quite a bit. And that's the case with this one. Don't get me wrong. It's not a terrible camera, but again, it's not a great camera also. So I know people for whom camera is a very high priority. If that's the case, then you might be disappointed with this one. But if you're a casual user, just shoot, take snaps here and there, document stuff, that is perfectly fine on this smartphone. Okay, so these were the good things with this one. So now let's move to the cons on this smartphone. And the first biggest con is that we now do not have the alert slider. That was the signature feature of a OnePlus device, and that is missing on this one. So I don't know why they did that. So it's a sad trend that they removed the alert slider. So that is missing on this one. Again, guys, the complete phone is plastic, and even the frame is plastic. Don't get me wrong, it's fine, but generally with OnePlus smartphone, the earlier smartphones, the build quality used to be very, very high. This is average build quality. It's not bad, but certainly doesn't give that premium OnePlus experience that if you have used earlier OnePlus devices, you'd get that. But again, I can understand the pricing of this one. Okay, next thing that I really do not like on this smartphone is this smartphone is above 20,000, 23 and 25,000. And you do not get stereo speaker, and this is annoying, and this was really annoying when I was playing this battle the new game Battleground, and that stereo speaker effect is something that is lacking on this smartphone. But fortunately you are getting a 3.5mm headphone jack, but I seriously miss the stereo speakers, because these days we are getting stereo speakers with almost all the phones that cross 20,000 price point. So I miss here OnePlus has done a cost cutting that will be evident to you whenever you use the phone. So next thing is regarding the processor choice at this price point. As I've told you, and sometimes in UI right now nothing is loaded on this one and anything, so it's fine. But when you're heavily multitasking and stuff, using apps in the background, moving around with them, I do notice some stutters on this smartphone, and many of the other users also have noticed. It's not like always, but I would say you will notice it 5 to 10% of the times if you're heavily using the phones. So that is something that I've noticed, and I feel at this price point they should have gone with the Snapdragon 768 SoC because that's a much more powerful SoC, but they went with the 750G. Next thing is regarding the call quality, as I've told you, is very good. And even the proximity sensor is actually pretty good on this smartphone compared to many of the other smartphones in this range. For example, particularly Redmi and Mi smartphones, I was having terrible proximity sensor issue. On this one, it is not that bad. I noticed it only about 5% of the time, and that was only when I was taking very long calls. When very long calls, you sometimes adjust like this, then I sometimes face the proximity sensor issue. But apart from that, even the proximity sensor was calibrated very well. So it's a good phone for long calls, but I feel still the proximity sensor is slightly on the sensitive side. This won't matter to a lot of users, but I notice after using it for so many days, and particularly in very long calls, I noticed that. Okay, next thing is regarding the update situation. Again, OnePlus says that this will also get 2 years of Android updates and 3 years of security updates. That's actually a good thing. But the thing that we noticed is that the OnePlus 7 series user, the OnePlus 770 and the 7 Pro, when the Android 11 update came to those users, their phone big performance became very, very bad. And that was the case even with the OnePlus Nord earlier one. Just a couple of months ago, last month, that was updated, and that added a lot of bugs and users were annoyed. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed whenever this smartphone gets the Android 12 update. OnePlus is careful about that. They don't intentionally just let loose unoptimized version that causes issues to the user. OnePlus was very good in this area earlier, but now we are noticing that their software updates are a little bit on the wobbly side, and you got to be careful. So if you're buying this smartphone, whenever you get a new major Android update, like say Android 12 or whatever, just don't jump and install the update right away. Wait for 15-20 days and see what other users are telling, so that you don't get into issues if it's a bad update. Another last big joke of this device, and I don't know why OnePlus is doing that. I think so they're just trolling us, and this is specifically only for the Indian variants. The international variants get 10, 12 bands of 5G, but this Indian variant that is officially sold has just 1 band of 5G. So that is also something that I really do not like, and they market this smartphone as a 5G smartphone. So that is simply a thing that I do not like. And regarding the pricing, guys, this version that I have, the 8 GB 128 gigabytes, is for 25,000. There is also one more variant that is for 23,000, that has 6 GB of RAM and 128 GB of storage. But sadly, that variant is simply not available as of now on Amazon. And Amazon, as you can see, this says that the pricing of the smartphone starts from 25,000. But if you go to the OnePlus India website, you can get the 6 GB RAM variant that is for 23,000. But that is only available in this black color. So I don't like the fact that if you want the newer, more modern colors, you have to bump up to that 25,000 rupees variant. So again, these were my thoughts about this OnePlus Nord CE. And guys, if you are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. And if you're buying this smartphone, I'll leave the link from Amazon. If you're buying it, use my link. It does help the channel. Anyways, guys, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. And if you own the OnePlus Nord CE, do share your experience in the comment section below. Would love to hear your thoughts. Anyways, guys, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video. Take care, guys.